You're listening to After the Review with Peter and Terrell. New episodes of our podcast are available every Tuesday afternoon on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. If you like our content, remember to comment, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the episode. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is After the Review with Peter and Terrell. I'm your host, Peter, and back as usual is Terrell. What's up, Terrell?
What's up, Peter? How things been going for you? Quarantine season is still going, but you know.
I mean, is it? We don't know. There's still stuff going on. Things are crazy right now. People are quarantined. People aren't quarantined. I think it just.
I guess is it really? I don't know. I guess quarantine season is actually over, right? Like, only people who are sick are truly quarantined right now.
I guess you're supposed to still be quarantined. It's still going around.
Version of quarantine, though.
Everyone's out for protesting, so nobody really cares anymore.
It seems that like this is like we have this underlying thing of coronavirus, and then like the world's going back to normal as with like this cautious like thing like you go back kind of somewhat doing your normal things, but hey, wear a mask, still have your space in between. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, carry some hand sanitizer.
Carry some hand sanitizer. Obviously, still wash your hands from wherever you go. But it's like people are taking more liberties now. Like, okay, maybe I'll go do this and that.
Hopefully, maybe it's the summer weather because there are some reports that things are easing up, and maybe this. Yeah. I mean, Jesus, it's 104 today right now in Texas.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You want me to tell you what it is in Seattle? It's a nice. It's raining though, so that it was raining earlier. It's all cloudy, as you expect. But it's a nice 60.
Oh, wow.
I got a hoodie on, man. I'm telling you that. I'll tell you that.
Well, enjoy it while you can, because you're about to be back in the sweat of it.
Yeah. I'm not that part I'm not looking forward to. Seattle's really pretty and all that good stuff, but that, the hot, the flat, and just being boring Texas, I'm not excited about. But it is what it is. Home is where the heart is, so it'll be all right.
All right, let's get into the NBA. Like we said last week, was going to come out with a plan. They came out with a plan. We got a plan. 22 teams going to Orlando. Going to play 8 games, and then we're going to have the playoffs. Weird playing game type thing going on. What do you think of this?
I don't fully understand it yet. If you do it, I'd love for you to break it down in your version. Maybe you have a version of understanding it. So they'll play the 8 games, and so if you're within 4 games of the 8 seed, you'll play a playing game. Is that correct?
That's what it. Yeah.
And if you're like within how many games of the 9 seed, you'll play a playing game for the 9 seed, and then you'll do to get the 9 seed. Then if you're the 9 seed, you'll do a playing game to get to the 8 seed, right?
Yeah. Basically, I think so. They did the 8 playoff teams in the East, the 8 playoff teams in the West, and then they invited the 9th-seeded Wizards, who are really just there for, I guess, tune-up games, I guess, in the East, because I don't think they're going to be able to catch the Magic in the 8th spot. And then they added the Blazers, Pelicans, Kings, Spurs, and Suns in the West, and they're all kind of close. And from my understanding, if all of them could get within 4 games of each other, and the Thunder. I forgot about the Thunder. Get within 4 games of each other, and if they do, they can all play playing games against each other essentially. So we'd have like 4 playing games.
So as if they were to end today, so say they were like to end like they did the 8 games and it was still the same because the Blazers are 3.5 games back. I think the Pelicans are 3.5 game back. I think someone else is 3.5 games back.
Yeah. I got it. All right. So. All right. Conference. So yeah, the Portland is 3.5 back. Yeah, them and the Kings, they're all 3.5 back, and then the Spurs are 4 back, and the Suns are 5 back. So really, cool.
So if it were to end today, we would have a play-in game for the 8th seed with Portland, New Orleans, Sacramento,
and San Antonio. Yeah.
So those they would play their own mini tournament, is what I'm saying.
So what I'm understanding is like the Spurs would play the Kings, the winner of that game would play the Pelicans, the winner of that game would play Portland, and the winner of that game would play Memphis for the final playoff spot.
Okay. Portland is like they're sitting high because they're the 9 seed essentially. Yeah,
so you want to be. I'm assuming you're getting rewarded for finishing better after these 8 games. You want to be as close as you can to the 8 seed or in the. It seems like the 8 seed's the only thing that's up for grabs right now.
So the 9 seed is double elimination though. So the Kings would need to lose twice to get knocked out, correct? in
No,
the
I
in the
think it's all one.
Okay.
So it's like you play a do or die, do or die, do or die, and then do or die to get into that 8th spot. So basically, Memphis is gonna play the winner. Someone's gonna have to play at least 2 games before they play Memphis. Essentially,
Okay.
or they'll have Memphis will be their second game. Memphis only has to play 1 game in the 8th spot right now to get into the playoffs.
All right.
So
Makes sense.
yeah.
I got a little read a little bit, figured some stuff out how they're gonna handle the coronavirus still and the COVID-19, how they're gonna handle the players. So all the players are getting there to Disney World Land, whatever you want to call it, Orlando. Let's just call it Orlando. Between July 7th to July 9th, obviously spread out. And they have to, when they get there, they have to be quarantined in a room for 36 hours. That's a long time to be stuck in a room. You tell me. And then they're gonna try to do saliva swabs. And then if you test positive for the virus, you have to be quarantined for 10 days.
All
And
right.
then you have to get 2 negative tests before you can rejoin the team. So that's a long time. But if one of your players gets the virus, you're allowed to add a two-way player or a free agency player all the way up until the second round of the playoffs, I believe. And then after the second round, you can only add two-way players, so pretty much your G League players. If
Okay.
someone gets the virus.
I saw Boogie, the Heat are interested in getting Boogie.
Yeah, so Boogie is essentially available right now because he was waived by the Lakers. If they were to want to get Boogie, they could. And one more thing. So if you leave the campus, you have to go through the whole protocol of the 10-day
Again.
again. Yeah. So if you leave campus, you have to go. So essentially, once you get there, you're kind of locked in there until you leave. I don't see why anybody would leave unless they have some emergency with their family or something like that. 10-day. I mean, leave and risk 10 days. Unless you. I don't even think if you won the first round and the second round went that long, I don't even think like you would risk the 10 days because you.
Well, they're having a full
know.
schedule. I saw the breakdown. It's still pretty long. I mean, the season it's supposed to tip off July 31st, and then the finals aren't going to start till September 27th. So that's pretty. We have a pretty wide range in there. Maybe things change on the protocol side of things because maybe the virus dissipates and we have, treatments or whatever, so it doesn't have to be like super strict lockdown on the campus or whatever it is. I don't know. I agree. It puts a lot of players in awkward situations for that stuff.
And they're getting tested every other day.
That's a little overkill.
That's a lot of tests. Well, I mean, I guess it's not really though, because if you catch it and you're out here playing basketball, it takes like 5 seconds for it to spread to the whole team. Not 5 seconds literally, but you give it to another team. You give the teammate gets the opposing player gets his teammates. Then gives it the coaching staff.
Maybe we just go the other way and we give it to everybody. Everybody gets it, so it's not an issue.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, just everybody here. We're gonna give you the virus, so we'll all be okay.
You guys are probably gonna be okay. You're some of the most fit and most athletically, talented people in the world. I'm sure you're gonna be all right. There's plenty of cases where everyone's totally fine, like Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, no issue whatsoever.
Yeah, no issue at all. So we're essentially so these players are essentially going to be locked in Orlando from July 9th if you make it to the finals, essentially until
October. Yeah, that's a long. It's
a
long
time.
It's worth it though if you win, right? You're like it's totally worth it.
Totally. It absolutely sucks if you go to the finals and you lose. Like it's the worst thing ever. So I don't know what Orlando with this campsite essentially is made up of. I don't know if there's like
They told the players and family they can't go to the parks or anything. You can't go to Disney and hang out and have fun.
Oh man, which would make sense.
Yeah,
Disney is trying to open back up too, by the way.
Yeah, I know they are. So it's like, but I like the format. I do like the 8 games to get everyone kind of back into the swing of things. There's not going to be much jockeying for position as far as playoff teams for. They're really trying to get Zion in the playoffs. Like I said, they would. They made sure we included all these other teams. But the West they got to be ecstatic because unless Dallas falls off, they're They're going to be a lock. So you're going to either get Memphis and Ja, Portland and Dame and CJ, Zion and New Orleans. I mean, Sacramento and San Antonio are really the two odd teams out, but I don't expect either of those teams to make it, really, because LaMarcus Aldridge had surgery in April. They just came out and said he's done, so the Spurs are pretty much just there.
Just there to, I guess, have fun, hang out, do whatever. Not really. It's not even having fun and hanging out because you're on so many restrictions. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be still fun, but
maybe
a lot of
Pop likes
players
it.
playing 2K in Warzone in their hotel rooms. I bet.
Yeah, a lot of. I bet you they got really nice setups though. Some big rooms.
Yeah, like what though? Like
I don't know. You're telling me LeBron doesn't have a massive suite somewhere?
No, LeBron has a massive suite somewhere, but like, what kind of hotels do you think they're staying in? How many? Like, I guess are they staying in like these suites like the Disney owns, like those like resort suites? I'm guessing they're staying in those, right?
I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know if people can stay there. Like general people can stay there. I'm sure the NBA has a deal with them, so it's pretty isolated.
Read that each team has their own hotel. Maybe see, read that right?
That's nice.
Cause so the families, because they're trying to get families to come,
to keep them sane
after round one. Each team will have each team has a certain amount of hotels to house families. Sorry, I don't think they all have their own hotel room, like hotel to themselves, because that's a lot of hotels.
Yeah.
But I would assume that at least two teams will take up
one hotel and
one hotel room.
Okay. Not a big deal.
So how would you break that? How would you do that? Would you do like an Eastern Conference team, East and West?
I would do an East and West team. So you're not playing until the finals, and it's probably teams that aren't going to play. So exactly. I'm doing like the Magic and the Lakers or something. Like you go 1-8 from each conference.
1-8, you flip it back and forth. Yeah, I like that. That's how I would do it.
So it's not really anything like that. No extra, shit talk.
Are players gonna hang out with each other? What do you think?
Yes, of course. They're all NBA guys are super tight. They get crap for being too good of friends. You got to hang out with you. It's the only way you can keep sane. Like if you're just stuck there, you're stuck there with other guys that are stuck there. Also, they kind of understand. You guys kind of feel each other out. You're just chilling in the lobby or whatever. If the hotel's locked down, have a drink or two, relax.
Imagine. So where can you go outside the hotel? You think to the facility, practice facility, weight room? Hotel.
Maybe they have a list of restaurants. I don't know.
Golf. You think golfing is one of those things they can do?
Maybe. It's outside. I could see that.
I mean, if you're getting tested every other day, so I feel like you maybe could go golf. I mean, it's not like they're like, if you catch it, they're gonna know right away. But it's also risking 10 days. So essentially, 10 days is like that's almost the whole series. It's 3 games.
It's 2 or 3 games. Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on how. I don't know. Is the format going to be like more constricted because we're not really considering travel days in there anymore? Like,
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it because the season's lasting so long. If it was going to be condensed, I would have assumed it would have ended in September.
Yeah, I would assume.
It seems like they're taking a lot, and they said they're playing it like the summer league. They're playing games throughout the day, so we could be seeing like 11 o'clock tip off for a game.
Ooh, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
You getting your basketball fill in.
It's like March Madness.
That is true.
But I think basketball.
I guess especially for the first round of the playoffs, it'll be like that.
The first round is always good because there's so many games, but then it slowly cuts down, and then they have to.
It'll probably be like one game a day. When it's like the conference finals, like the East plays Monday, West plays Tuesday, East plays Wednesday, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and then we'll have the dead periods where there's no basketball in between,
which will be it'll be super awkward.
Yeah, the first round would be great. It would be a lot of basketball, especially if we have it throughout the whole day. And essentially, I don't know how many courts they're going to use. I don't know if it's like everyone has to play on this one court. Like, does that make it fair?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What I mean? Yeah, it's really weird. And they were talking about like there being like no home court advantage, and like who does this benefit? Who does this hurt? Like everybody playing on one court. Like, the Sixers are so bad away from home, it's ridiculous. It's like they're 850 at home and like 250 on the road this year. So it's like, oh, God, what are they going to look like? And then, Orlando's basically a home but they have to be locked down in their hotel or whatever. So that's awkward as can be, right? You're in your home city, but not at your home.
That's like the worst type of, like, traveling. You know what I mean? There's like you got to pack to go 20 minutes away or whatever.
Yeah, when you're home, when you're big old nice mansion and your family are
You
sitting
like
right there.
staycation or whatever is what they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all works. I saw like an article like them trying to bring in the courts, the courts from each team.
So they can
I
switch them out.
Yeah, I don't see like I'm saying I don't know how many courts I don't know how many courts they're gonna use. I mean, they're like because Summer League they use two different courts, like which I assume is okay. Is that even? Is that fair? I mean, obviously the courts are the same size, but
I
like
mean,
is one court
nothing's
like a better
fair.
feel or is like is there like a how in high school you have the big main court and you have like the little small like JV court? It's like is it that situation going on or what?
It could be, maybe they do their own court, like high quality court that they put together, and they maybe have like two of them, and then they rotate them in and out, and so they stay pretty consistent with two. I'm
definitely excited to see how. I mean, obviously more stuff will come out. Someone will give us
it's
the breakdown.
interesting. It's very interesting because we've never seen anything
Very
like this.
interesting. Yeah, we never obviously other than Summer League, but this is totally different than Summer League. This actually matters. Not that Summer League doesn't matter, but
Summer League doesn't matter. It's a bunch of it's a bunch of young.
Also, we're not getting Summer League this year. Are we getting Summer League this year? What are they gonna call it?
I heard
like, what is gonna happen?
So I heard that the teams that aren't invited might have their own extended Summer League, like Golden State and them. And like the teams in the East might go around and just play some games somewhere and just mess around.
They don't have they haven't drafted yet.
I know. Well, no, it's gonna be like the stars. It's gonna be like Steph, guys getting workouts in or whatever, and playing pickup games against each other, or scrimmages essentially against each other, while everyone else is down in Orlando.
I don't hate that for TV content, especially on the days that we don't have anything going on, like later rounds.
Yeah, I do feel bad for the Lakers though, because all signs are pointing to a Lakers-Clippers Western Conference Finals, and that was basically going to be 7 home games for the Lakers against the Clippers, regardless if it's the Clippers' home game in the court. It's going to be more like it's always going to be Laker fans over Clipper fans at the game. So that's kind of a big advantage for the Clip, especially with
Yeah, that's a big advantage. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My idea would be for like a home court advantage would be bring your PA announcer and let him do the whole still in-game sounds.
I heard they're going to use 2K sound. They're going to try and use the 2K commentary, which is hilariously bad. Everyone's been joking about on the internet.
It's super repetitive because obviously it's a video game, so you hear the same thing over and over again. I don't know. Like, why not bring if you're home court, bring in your PA announcer so when you hit a 3, he can go crazy, even if it's like only 30 people in the stands. You know what I mean? Like, bring some of the home court feel back because like you worked for home court, so you shouldn't get that taken away from you.
I don't know. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Because honestly, if this is where the format, you'd be like, okay, I just want to get in the playoffs. I don't really care if I don't have home court. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't get the extra game
advantage.
At home.
Advantage.
I'm playing it.
Maybe
so-and-so.
They lock. You know what? If you're the road team, they lock you up in a van and they bus you around for an hour and a half to give the other team home court advantage.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the home team gets on the court first or something. I don't know.
They get shoot around. They get the tip. They start with the ball. No tip. They just start with the ball.
Yeah, they start with the ball.
I don't know. That is funny. But and then the interesting thing is they're gonna wrap up around start of October, maybe earlier than that. But they said they're gonna start next season
for the finals, October 12th.
Yeah, so Game 7, October 12th is the latest possible date, and then they said they're gonna start next year on December 1st. Like what? We've been hammering about Christmas, and now I hear reports going like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. The players aren't going to let that happen, that quick of a turnaround.
No way.
Because the NBA's been trying to get rid of back-to-backs in 4 out of 5 days, and they said they're going to just condense the season and play nothing but back-to-backs in 4 out of 5 days.
That GMs think that they're going to get a condensed season just to get back on schedule to the normal, and I see that no way of that happening.
Yeah, the players aren't going to let it. I mean, just play less games. I mean, you play 10 less games maybe next year also. You play 72 games instead of 82, just to try and.
No, do you want to get back to like it? You got to see. So for me, you got to see how this goes. You got to see. Obviously, they're definitely going to be competing with football. Like
everybody is. Everybody playoffs and finals are going to be heads up against the NFL.
But you know what? Honestly, I at this point,
Cowherd had a good point though. He said, "Are you going to watch the Western Conference Finals, or are you going to watch a Thursday Night Football game? If they're both on at the same time, you can only watch one.
No, I'm totally watching the Western Conference Finals.
Exactly.
No doubt.
So NFL might take a hit.
I'll check the fantasy scores and it'll be okay. I mean, obviously, unless it's like okay, so this is a bigger question. Is it your team playing though? So
No.
is the Vikings playing? We don't. I don't have a basketball team.
Yes.
I guess so. Essentially, and Mahomes on Thursday Night Football and LeBron playing Western Conference Finals. That's tough though. This is a 2 TV system though. I'm watching both, but like, what's on the big TV?
What's on the Western
Conference Finals.
You're probably putting the basketball game on the big TV and listening to it, and then because you can kind of check down in football and kind of half pay attention.
Yeah, because if you miss you could miss basketball and you'd be what? This 5-point lead now. What just happened?
Yeah, wait, what?
Yeah,
someone went on a 12-0 run. What?
Yeah, so definitely, you're probably right. Just because it's probably early in the year, and if they're playing Thursday Night Football, I'm already upset about it because it's a 4 game, from Sunday and all this other stuff, and they're probably, whatever. It is what it is, and yeah, you're right. I'm probably the Western Conference Finals on.
It will be interesting though, because we're gonna have everything in September. We're gonna have NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL probably all going on at the same time.
We're gonna get our payback for us no sports for so long.
Yeah, we're gonna get all at once. We're gonna get the what do they call them, like sportsagami or whatever, when it's out every sport on the same day. It happens almost never.
Yeah, there's one day in it's in July. Is it July?
No, it's early. It's like October or September when basketball's back. Yeah, and baseball playoffs.
But there's another day. It's like the best sporting day ever because there's we have I don't know. It's golf, tennis. It's a whole bunch of stuff, but football's not included. That's on. I don't know. I've seen it's one of those days.
Maybe like March Madness or something like that. Who knows?
It's not. No, it's in July or something. It's right around the finals because we have the finals.
No, it's in June. It's in June.
June finals, and then hockey's finishing up too. And then there's something else. It's they have a good. It's obviously not the big
golf majors, sport. Tennis majors going on Sundays.
All that good stuff going on. Yeah.
Maybe a horse race.
Horse races. Yeah, horse races is definitely what I'm throwing in there. All I'm saying is that we better save our pennies up because we got a lot of betting to do coming up.
So much betting.
So much better. We should be able. No, we should actually bet. I might bet see where the if Donald Trump gives me a little bit more stimulus money, see what I can do with it, or if the government keeps sending me checks, and maybe I might put a little money down.
Yeah, on somebody. Yeah. This is the toughest of all years, I think, to bet on sports. For sure. Even pick it. There's nothing. No advantage. Nobody knows.
Yeah, there's no. You would start betting round 2 when you can get a feel for it. I don't know, but round 1 odds might be good for you though, because it's no one knows, so they're just throwing it. Vegas is throwing whatever against
there might be some good upsets there then. Playing neutral court, especially a young team, because young teams
5 games are definitely
up in the air.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, but I like a team like Dallas, like a young team where you don't have to deal with the crowd, because crowd is usually stuff that gets to young teams, momentum swings, stuff like that, and they let games get away from them. So that's very intriguing to me. Dallas might be a very good sleeper team with no crowd and fans.
Locked up with Denver right now, or is it? Yeah, with the Clippers. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that matchup.
Yeah.
I think Kawhi's gonna, when it comes to it, they're gonna be able to throw enough at Luka.
At Luka, yeah.
They're gonna be able to throw Pat, Kawhi.
Maybe Porzingis is back to. Maybe Porzingis just found it again, being off and healthy.
He was playing really good for it ended. That's where they'll have the advantage though, because they won't really be able to match up with Porzingis. They have Zubac. Zubac is no comparison. Harrell, but that's not the same type of they'll be able to pick and pop. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Mavericks do.
Yeah.
Or maybe if the Clippers. I mean, if the Nuggets jump them though. I like the Mavericks to take down the Nuggets.
Did you see though? Jokic has a 6-pack now. That man lost 25 pounds. They said he is shredded. Yes.
Oh, what?
He lost all this weight in quarantine. Instead of beefing up, he lost weight. He looks really slim now. And the GM for them was like, "Yeah, have you seen him? He's got a 6-pack." Oh man, I'm very afraid of Denver if he's in shape now.
For sure.
Because that was the big knock, that he was just a little out of shape and kind of the chubby body, couldn't get up and down the court. But if he's a rock inside now against, I don't know, inferior interior play in the Western Conference, except for LA, for the Lakers, could be back. So we'll see. Speaking of, how about baseball? Baseball really dropped the ball here, didn't they? That they haven't gotten back. They could have had all of July, all this free time when we're desperate for sports, and they still don't have a plan. I know they put together another proposal, which is going to get shot down. So baseball's really slipping, it feels like.
It's money is always this shows that money is always the bottom line. It's not about giving fans what they want or anything like that.
Which is bad, because I know every team doesn't feel like that. I know that every team doesn't.
I know every team isn't like that, and it's just like, you know what, just
play.
Owners, just play, figure it out, give them what they want, like whatever, right? Say this is the IOU. Next time we have, the union, whatever player agreement, all the good stuff. We'll, you gotta give it a little bit something our way. Whatever. I don't know. They just need to figure it out. The last one they gave was okay. I don't know. I think the players want all their money, so we're probably going to see a 50-game season.
Yeah, I think the owners threw out a 74-game season today or yesterday.
Yeah, 76 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that with 75% pay, which isn't.
Yeah,
it's not bad. That's very reasonable. I think, you know what, if this thing keeps dragging out, I say there's probably 16 teams that really want to play. Just say, fine, we'll just play with those 16 teams and let them go. And here's the whatever.
I think at the end of the day, they'll figure something out. I think one side of the coin is if we're gonna pay them all this money, we're only gonna play like 50 games.
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks. But I don't know, what does a 50-game baseball season look like?
Bad. I don't know. It's not great.
Just like what, you guess your division?
Something like that. Yeah, you play your division. Because you play your division 19 times, and there's 5 teams in each division, so not even.
Yeah, so
you're like, that's 76 games in the division normally.
So I guess that's what they threw out 76 is like, we'll just play the division, we'll take the division winners.
Yeah, and then I think they were going to extend the playoffs too, so they were going to take like more wildcard teams. I don't know. It's a whole mess. Baseball really slipping, and it's a shame.
I hate that though. You play only 5 teams, but it is what it is.
I'm never going to complain. As long as the Yankees can freaking play, I'm okay, because the Yankees have a legitimate shot to win the World Series again this year. So that's all I'm chomping at the bit for.
I think baseball got their raw end of this deal because they're the ones who, like, it happened right before their season started. So if they were in season, I think this would have been resolved much easier, because all the sports who were in season have resolved it because they're like, oh, we're not really changing anything. We're just tweaking to what we already have.
I think
the fact that they,
they were a week out, I think, or like 10 days out.
Or 10 days out, and it's happened to them. So I give them a little slack because they're on precedence waters, unlike anyone else. Like, no one has had to go through this, because NFL's looking like, hey, we should be all good and gold and be able to go through, and probably no fans, but baseball had to deal with it beforehand, and and trying to figure it out and all that good stuff. So
yeah,
maybe they give them a little bit more time, but they're really dragging their feet because now we're in June and they're gonna still need to do training camp.
Everyone's got to get back into
everyone's get back. So
things, so
they just more days they go by without getting this done is worse it's gonna be. So
in baseball, it's not the worst thing. You can play double headers in baseball, no problem, every day.
That's
if you really want to get the games in, you just play back.
It's like back to backs. Whatever they can knock that out. Especially if they somewhat only play in a division, you really can knock those double headers out for sure.
Expand the rosters to have more players on the roster, so you can just have the pitching to deal with it. So maybe
if you're gonna cut minor league players, you might as well expand the roster to bring some of those guys up.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be in the plan for them, like a 30-man roster instead of 26. So we'll see.
I just think they need to figure it out, because we want sports. We want that, baseball back, football back, hockey back.
I'm sitting outside, and it's like, God, I wish I was sitting in the pool, drinking a beer, watching the NBA Finals and a baseball game on Sunday.
It sounds like MLS is kind of like getting it around, so they're gonna figure things out too. They're gonna do a little tournament, I think, out in Orlando too.
What's the draw for MLS? I mean, I'll maybe tune in. I'm doing okay watching German soccer every Saturday and Sunday in the mornings, at least.
I think it's just mostly for MLS, like, hey, we want to play still, like, whatever, the dignity of playing, because, obviously we have some players who only play MLS. Yeah, you're right. They're not going to be drawing the huge crowd. I don't know, like, what's ESPN's, Fox and all their thoughts on it? Do they love this? Like, we're going to be sports on all the time, or like, how does this all shape up for them, like the contracts and TV and all that stuff? Is
I
it
don't
still the
know.
same?
It probably messes with their bottom line for sure.
I know it messes,
Because
yeah, but
it messes with the advertising and all that stuff. But I'm sure they'll figure it out. I mean, Fox's big cash cow is everybody's cash cow is football, and that's untouched right now.
that's
So
true. That's
they're
true.
okay.
Is TNT still gonna get the basketball fix, or like how does that work or whatever? I mean, I guess like we would have like the same game, like a game being played on ESPN and TNT at the same time, possibly, like for
Mate,
basketball.
or at least I don't know, because are they going to have two courts they're playing it, or are they only playing at the one court like we talked
I
about
think they're gonna
earlier?
do two courts. I think they're doing two courts. I think you're gonna have maybe even a couple courts, but I definitely would assume two courts just for
Can
to feasibly make it go by. But you
yeah,
said it's going on so long, so maybe not. So,
yeah.
uh,
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Yeah, that's weird. What else happened? Oh, Drew Brees kind of stepped in it a little bit this week, didn't he?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, he kind of stepped in. He kind of missed the point. Um, I okay. Let me. I don't know
Yeah,
how to
you
phrase
should
this.
break it down since it.
No, I didn't see. Okay. What I did, I saw the headlines. I never dug deep into it because I didn't want to jump into it and like get all into it because it's a lot been going on, and I was like, I'm gonna let breeze by on this one. I think he missed the point, but he came back, so he missed the point. He was talking about the flag, and it's never been about the flag, as in
Yeah,
to kneeling Colin Kaepernick. It's never been about the flag. It's been about a peaceful protest in which I'm sure at this point a lot of people would love that. They
it's
would love people just to do it at
it's
a peaceful protest right now.
it was the narrative got hijacked. It was never about anything about the flag or anything like that. It was about police brutality and everything. And Breeze, the headlines weren't as bad, so I read the headlines and I was like, okay, it didn't sound great what he said, but then I listened to what he said and it sounded way worse. It was way worse than what the headlines said. He was talking about, my grandparents both fought in the war and, they honor the flag and stuff like that. And everyone was kind of like, yeah, but black people didn't fight beside them and then come back to a country that pretty much, hated them. So it's like, that's such a stupid argument to use, and he loves touting that stuff. He did apologize. They said the team forgave him and stuff like that, but I've had a lot of other players in the league have said, "Oh, I can't wait till we play Drew Brees," because he only
Yeah,
apologized because there was massive backlash with him.
yeah, I hear you. I feel like some players are just at this point where they just want to be angry to. Not saying they don't have the right to be angry, but just like I feel like he apologized. He was in this wrong. Let's like not act like no one's ever not been in the wrong. I don't know how to turn into me defending Drew Brees, but I just like I'm not here defending him for what he said. He was definitely wrong, but I think if we gave that criticism to every person who said the wrong thing every time, then everyone would just get bashed on all the time, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it just played into the bigger thing the larger issue at hand that I think the black community is trying to get at, that people are I don't want to say unaware of everything that's going on and what the
Yeah,
issues are, and that just like
yeah.
plays into everything. Like Drew Brees was completely unaware with what
It's
his
the fact that he
comments.
wants about the flag. Yeah, that's like totally. That shows everything we need to know, that you're unaware about the situation and that you're not getting the point, which is truly sad. But I think at the end of the day, Drew Brees he got the point one way or the other. I heard his wife said they got death threats, which is so sad.
Everybody,
Um,
welcome to 2020 and
every,
the
every
internet. Everybody gets that.
everybody gets death threats, and of course the wife says they got death threats. So like that's like her. I don't want to say her role, but like that's what the wife always comes out and says,
Always,
right? Like, oh,
yeah. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, we got death threats. I'm sure Drew Brees did not fear for his life at any point. Like, okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah. So, yeah, it's sad that he missed the point, but I think, like you said, he apologized. He's gotten the point now.
it is
But
bad though. Oh, go ahead.
I think I'm with you. He said the wrong, like he said the absolutely wrong thing at the wrong time, which I think it heightens it and makes it really bad. But I think we take a lot from this because this is Drew Brees we're talking about, not I don't even know who, not Jake Fromm, essentially, who could be
Oh,
out of
that
the
was
league.
bad too.
I know
God.
it's bad, but like not out of the league. Who could be out of the league in like 2 or 3
And
years or whatever?
yeah, he
Like
could be out
this
of
is
the league
we're talking about a
tomorrow.
Hall of Famer, like that's gonna like top 10 quarterback all time. Like we're talking about someone who's
Yeah.
whatever
Hey,
however you want to look at him.
you did hit me with the does Breeze retire after this when it
Yo,
first
it
broke
was
down.
really bad at a point. Like was getting updates and like there's a thread, like it was really bad. I was like, it was like people from like the New Orleans Saints were changing, like turning on his home fans. Like the noodle arm thing was getting thrown around way more, and I was like, God, dude.
I know, I know that the protests in New Orleans that night were chanting little expletives at Drew Brees during that.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like at that point, I'm like, but Drew Brees, tough guy. You just like want to like like
It,
you know,
it it
crawl in
did
a
get
hole and
bad when people looked into his background and where he grew up, Westlake, all outside of Austin. Pretty
yeah,
not great area when it comes for people of color and the treatment of
yeah,
people over there. So it's well known, little bougie stuff. So I was like, not a great look. It kind of fits into the narrative of what, growing up, I guess, uninformed and ignorant about it. But I asked Dalston about this because he's a big Breeze fan, half black, half Hispanic. So, and he's like, he said exactly what you say. He said the absolute worst thing at the wrong time. Like, just shut up. Sometimes he didn't take it personally. Like, Breeze just didn't know. And he
yeah.
just kind of missed the point, so he's bad. So I thought that was a good take on it from someone who is such a big Breeze fan, but he wasn't so, chomping at the bit about it, which I was surprised a little bit. But I guess that's fair. I mean, we haven't heard anything from Breeze ever from a negative side of point, so maybe it's just like we talked about education and people need to be more informed with everything. He won them back because he did the Orange Man bad who runs our country,
Yeah.
and his boys got his back, so that's an easy way to pick up the points.
Yeah, I think it's much. I think holding a grudge is much worse than actually just forgiving them. And I think this is opportunity. I was thinking about this earlier. This opportunity for people to sit down and have an open conversation about it all, and like maybe educate. Then Drew Brees show his side on why he feels this way, and then like they go back and tell him why they do this and that. I think LeBron's shop would be an awesome point to just could bring guys like Drew Brees, bring other guys in, and all just have an open, honest conversation about all this and how they feel in dealing with sports. Because now you see all these players coming out and talk about how they feel like the racism within sports and different things like that. So I feel like an open forum would be honest, like just a kind of like an uncomfortable conversation would be great, and I think a lot could come from it, and I think that could be one of the movements of change that we see. So I would hope that someone goes about this and tackles it and tries to do something like this. I could see LeBron doing something like this. I know he's trying to get ready to win an NBA championship, but so I'd love to see somebody get a bunch of guys together from all colors, race, and everything, and sit them down and just have a true open forum, and they can talk about it all, and things they see.
And
I think that'd be awesome.
yeah, because LeBron came out real heavy against Drew Brees about
Yeah,
him,
he did.
not being it. And sports has always been, and they say, oh, sports is keep politics out of sports, blah blah blah. The whole shut up and dribble thing with LeBron and stuff. And then of course, same people are defending Drew Brees' right to an opinion. But sports has always been at the forefront of political type race stuff. I mean, Jackie Robinson in the 40s when he was the first black baseball player, and it was a whole thing. Like, think about that was 20 plus years before the civil rights movement in this country. So sports has always been kind of on the forefront of these things because it's like, I don't want to say, you don't see race in the locker room. I know, yeah, we've been in locker rooms and stuff like that. It's like those are just your teammates, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
like you get to know guys. Those are your brothers usually, and so all like Richard Sherman said, like those kind of stereotype things get torn down. And yes, there are definitely people in there that are bad. So the conversation could be really good because sports is a really great place for all these people of all these different backgrounds and the way they've grown up and feeling things to talk because they just see each other as teammates usually and are it's just that it's
yeah. I guess it's much different for me because I've never even thought about that in the sense of like me not liking a white teammate or a teammate of any different color. It's just like you said, they're my teammate, they're my brothers. I go to fight with them, I go to war with them. Like what I mean? Like there's not even that thought that crosses my mind at all. So I think sports is it's just much different. But I think also sports holds a great platform to express things of the things they see. They might see things outside of sports anyway, with like racism and different things like that. So I think it's a great platform to them express how they feel and speak up for us who can't essentially have that platform to talk about it. So I think it's awesome to see what all these players are doing and different things like that. I do think we're going to see some change here. It sucks that it took people's lives to see the change, but nonetheless, the change will happen. So we'll save future lives.
Yeah, all right. So one more thing I guess I want to talk about. Dalvin Cook yesterday. We got to get to actual, sporting news instead of the bigger picture here. We can go small picture right now. Dalvin Cook says he's holding out from the Vikings, wants a new contract.
Pay me the money, Jerry.
Freaking he wants, so I think the Vikings offered him 9 to 10 million a year and he wants 13 million a year. McCaffrey makes 16, which 13 isn't great, but we can't pay him that. Our quarterback's making 40 million guaranteed next year.
That's the thing. That's why he's upset, I think.
But the cap's supposed to go down next year on top of it. The NFL cap's supposed to drop 40 million next year, not go up because of everything that's going on. And I get the argument like Cook makes Cousins, Cousins makes Cooks, but Cook doesn't have he doesn't have anything to stand on. He's missed 40% of the games that he's been eligible to play in, so it's a little bit of an injury thing. He was second in the league in yards from scrimmage, but he averages 4.5 yards a carry. Alexander Mattison, the rookie that we drafted last year, averaged 4.6, so it could be part of the offense and the blocking scheme. Obviously Dalvin Cook I'm not going to argue Dalvin Cook isn't elite, but I want to drop this on you. You ready for the list of free agent running backs next year and why Dalvin Cook doesn't have a negotiating point? Yeah. So, Cook, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry, Leonard Fournette, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Kenyon Drake, Todd Gurley, James Conner, Damian Williams, Kareem Hunt, Tart Cohen, Marlon Mack, Chris Carson, Jamal Williams, and Matt Breida, all free agents next year.
Yeesh.
That's an elite list of running backs right there that anybody can plug and play and fill in. Not to mention the guys coming out of college.
Yeah, totally. I don't want to deviate from the whole Dalvin Cook call, but are these running backs about to get a wake up call to see how much money they're not gonna make?
Yeah, because they're not valued, and I'm all for restructuring running backs rookie deals being separate. I know I've talked about this before, like more guaranteed money and stuff like that. So because they are a marginalized position, they don't last long in the league. The guys, you run them until the treads come off, and the teams control the fifth-year option for a lot of those guys too. But luckily, I don't want to say luckily for those guys, most of them aren't first-round picks, so they can't get that fifth-year option. So they're all going to be available because running backs have been marginalized so much. It is going to be a wake-up call when the money's not there. I mean, look at all the running backs that held out recently, and it's not gone well for them at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who gets paid, who doesn't get paid. I do like your idea of the rookie scale of running backs going up a little bit because they get the best years out of them. You know what I mean? Like right out of college, if they haven't played that many games and they're really finding their groove.
Running back more than anything, guys pop right away.
Yeah, they pop right away, and then they after those 4 years, they kind of just throw them to the dirt. Not the dirt, but they just.
They're overpaid at that point. Like, I bet everybody, LA regretted the Todd Gurley contract. Dallas is regretting the Zeke contract. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you got to pay those guys, I guess. Just do good business and show that you're not a shitty organization to say.
And that's what I hate because I didn't think he was going to sit out. The Vikings are notorious for negotiating in good faith. You never see guys hanging out, and we don't really pay for free agents. We always sign our guys usually. So it's good faith. We negotiate in good faith. So if a deal's going to get done, a deal's going to get done. Hopefully it's more realistic. I mean, he has no leverage point because the new CBA, I found this out, he can't sit out till week 10. He has to show up for week 1. Wow. If he doesn't show up for week 1, his contract does not count because he's a second-round draft pick. So he can't hold out the season, basically, like Le'Veon Bell did.
So he just doesn't have that much. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't have much leeway, power, negotiating power. He's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, it's all about the guaranteed money, I'm sure. And if we guarantee him. It's just money. I mean, Christ, we're trying to win a Super Bowl over here, and it's
better to have him than not have him.
That's true. I'm never gonna say it's not. Dalvin Cook's an elite running back.
Okay, so quick, another contract talk. Dak, obviously he's been in the news. Michael Irvin said, pay Dak whatever. So I've thought about this. Is Dak also trying to get back pay from what
Yes,
okay, so if you put it in that sense of terms, like him asking for this much money isn't really that crazy in my opinion.
it
If you're
kind of.
paying for if you're back paying him because you all those years you got Dak at the super cheap price, okay, we got a steal. And now he wants money, so you're gonna pay him for the future and you're paying for in the past. Like,
But is
in
his
the
back
world,
pay worth what he wants? He went 8-8 last year. That's mediocre back pay. You get docked for your first year winning 13 games. Those cancel out. Going 8-8 last year and missing the playoffs with the cast characters he had out there.
I agree with you, but it's just like, they missed. I guess they missed the playoffs. So last year didn't really help them, but I mean, still, it's okay. Well, we don't know what he's gonna do in the future. I'm just saying, like, him asking for this much money it's. I don't know. He said the saying no to 35 million was supposedly like a rumor, not true. So I don't know what he's saying no to, but if he said no to 35 million, that's where my buck stops. Is like, Dak, come on now, take the money. Like,
So
that's good money. So I don't know.
let's say Josh Allen wins the division for Buffalo this year and then wins 2 playoff games. He'll have one less division title and one more playoff win than Dak Prescott. You think Josh Allen's worth that kind of money? No.
No, but no, not you. I see what you're saying. That's a great analogy, but I think Dak does more than Josh Allen, and we all know that. And Dak has gotten better each year.
Well, then so of Josh Allen at that point. He'll have made the playoffs consecutive years when the Bills never make the playoffs.
That's true. They made the playoffs last year, though, right?
Yeah, so if he does it this year, it's just like Dak. I think last year really, 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 really hurt us leverage and contract talking points. With Philly was beaten, destroyed. Dallas had everything going for them. They had all the talent in the world, and they go 8-8. Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. You could blame something on the coach, though. We always forget that, but some of it does fall on Dak's shoulders and a lot of things. So I don't know. They'll figure it out. Jerry will pay him. Like I've been saying this for I don't know how many weeks. Jerry, just figure out a way to pay him. If you gotta pay him under the table, do it. Like, just figure a way out. You're a smart man. You have a lot of money. Give him a little piece. Give him an oil field. Give him a rig.
you're on the oil money. You're smart, Terrell. You're on the long-term investment over here.
Like, listen, he will never gripe again. He'll be forever your quarterback. You're right off into the sunset with him. Like, whatever. Just figure it out, because it's at this point kind of getting annoying.
Yeah, I know, but at least it's good that we can talk about, annoying sports stuff for a little bit, take your mind off the stuff. So I think that's everything for us this week. You got anything else?
Stay safe, people. Stay safe out there.
All right, stay safe. We'll see you all next week, everybody.